So yesterday, Donald Trump slapped 50% tariffs on Canada. And if I'm being honest, I am tired of talking about tariffs. I have probably made 150 to 200 videos talking about Donald Trump's stupid tariffs. And I don't want to talk about them anymore. The only difference with these tariffs now is that they're much higher than other tariffs Donald Trump has put on us, is that typically, even when we had tariffs on us, our CUSMA compliant goods were able to be sold into the United States without being tariffed. With these 50% tariffs, that changes. So even if a good is CUSMA compliant, it is still going to get that 50% tariff. Donald Trump is probably going to have to try and justify these tariffs in court at some point, and that will be a good indication as to whether this is going to affect Canada a lot or not. There's a lot of talk about whether Canada should make concessions like putting U.S. liquor back on the shelves in certain provinces. David Eby has already said that's not happening. Wab Kinew has said that's not happening. Doug Ford has said that's not happening. So I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sure Danielle Smith and Scott Moe will be saying, please, please be nice to the Americans. Let's put the U.S. liquor back on the shelves, because that has always been their strategy, is just to try and kiss their asses. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what we do, because Donald Trump doesn't make deals. He is a con man. He is always going to want more, and that is just how he is. So he might say, oh, we've made a deal and we'll be good for a few months once he gets past the midterm elections and likely loses. Then suddenly he's going to want something else from Canada. Maybe he'll want to dismantle our public health care. Maybe he'll want to dismantle our dairy industry. He's already kind of said he wants to. So many things that Donald Trump will try to bring up in the future.
Tariff taxes on Canadian products, and they're doing this apparently because of, well, mostly alcohol, actually, that we boycotted in their alcohol. And a few people have commented about something, and I thought, wow, these people in my live and my video are incredibly smart. So desperate is Donald Trump right now that he is using Section 338 of the 1930 Tariff Act to try to attack Canada. That's right. An act which is literally 94 years old in order to attack Canada. And I'll say it again, I'll say it in the video and I'll say it again. Trump hates what he cannot control. But for him, this is desperate. He is desperate right now. What we are doing to Canada, because we retaliated, because we're not a pushover. Our sovereignty is intact. We are Canadian. We offer very different opinions, very different views, very different ethnicities, but we are Canadian. And Trump hates that because he hates what he can't control. I'll tell you something personally. Even though I may not sound like I'm Canadian, when the Canadian national anthem is played, I put my hand on my heart. You can ask my family, I do this. And I stand up. And nobody speaks during that time. Nobody. We are Canadian, and we are winning in the trade war against a fascist regime. They are fascists. And we will win. And why will we win? Because even though there's less of us, truth will be our weapon. Truth is our weapon. Fairness is our weapon. Donald Trump is nothing but a liar and a cheat. And that's all he will ever be. Canada, however, is leading the world in fairness and truth. And we will win this trade war.
Donald Trump just said Canada needs the United States to survive. And Canada's response was to ban his booze, keep their tourists home, and threaten to cut off his electricity. Here's what's happening. Trump slapped a 50% tariff threat on Canada, targeting hockey sticks and other goods, with a 30-day deadline. And instead of folding, Canada did something that should genuinely worry this administration. They unified. I don't mean in a hashtag solidarity kind of way. The Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, from the NDP, Canada's progressive left, is standing next to Doug Ford, the Conservative Premier of Ontario, who used to be one of Trump's biggest cheerleaders. These two agree on almost nothing. And right now, They are finishing each other's sentences about standing up to this president. Think about that. You managed to unite the political left and right of an entire country against you. That's not strength. That's a diplomacy failure so spectacular it created bipartisan unity in someone else's country. Ford said they need to hit back tariff for tariff all the way across the board. He called Trump a bully trying to take their lunch money. Eby said there is not a chance in hell U.S. alcohol goes back on the shelves in British Columbia. And Prime Minister Carney was crystal clear. No partial deals, no fake deals, a comprehensive agreement, or nothing. And here is where it gets interesting. Canada is America's #1 energy supplier. Ford says $28 billion in tariff impact across the country, and they are still not blinking. He literally said they could dismantle the United States if they all work together on energy. Meanwhile, Trump told cameras, quote, "In all fairness to them, they need us to survive. The country that powers your grid, heats your homes, and supplies your oil is the one that needs you. That is not a negotiating position. That is a fantasy." Eby landed the line of the week. He said, "If you can't be friends with Canada, then you almost certainly do not have a friend anywhere in the world. The nicest country on the planet just told you that you are impossible to work with. Let that breathe. This matters because tariffs are supposed to be leverage. They work when the other side has no options. But when your tariffs push an ally into building trade relationships with the rest of the world, when their left and right unite against you, when they start cutting your energy and your booze, you haven't gained leverage. You've lost an ally. If this is what winning looks like, what exactly are we winning? Send this to someone who still thinks tariff threats make other countries fold."
Oh, damn. This threesome could be over. The U.S., Canada, and Mexico are top trading partners, but these three are in a very toxic relationship. The United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, the USMCA, could be on the chopping block. Trump refused to sign the extension for this trade deal. Both Mexico and Canada obviously aren't happy. But Mexico is trying to keep it cool, trying to stay calm. They're playing nice, they're not going to strike back with tariffs, and they're still trying to negotiate a deal. But Canada is absolutely not having it. Prime Minister Mark Carney literally said the old friendship is dead. He said he has a no bad deal stance and will not be bullied. And it's getting petty. US locked Canada out of any trade talks. So what does Canada do? They banned American liquor from their shelves. Just to be clear, the USMCA trade deal is still in effect until 2036 because it is a 16-year agreement that started in 2020. Under this agreement, all parties said in 2026, let's review this pact to see if we want to renew it. The U.S. declined and said they want annual reviews and negotiations. So Trump wants to rewrite the renewal. He wants to seek better terms.